Moment in your life where nothing is really wrong, and yet you begin to understand, to realize that what you're feeling can no longer be explained by simple tiredness or a passing phase. Something inside you is no longer quite in its place. It's not a lack of motivation. It's not that everything is falling apart. But something doesn't feel right anymore. That quiet sensation that your life keeps moving forward, while deep inside, you feel like you're not moving with it. Yes, you keep going. You do what needs to be done. You carry your roles as a woman, as a mother, as a sister, as a daughter, as a friend. But inside, there is a distance, a subtle disconnect. The distance between the life you're living and the woman you know, deep down, you are capable of becoming. So yes, you move forward. You show up. You do what is expected of you, as if you were living your life correctly, but not fully, not aligned. This is not a crisis. This is not failure. And maybe if you are here today, listening to these words, it's not by accident. You're not unhappy. You're not lost. You're simply disconnected from something essential. We often call this low energy, a phase, a bad mood. But deep down, you know, this moment is usually quiet, easy to ignore. It doesn't arrive loudly. It settles in gently, in moments of stillness, in unplanned pauses, in that persistent feeling that you're no longer fully connected to yourself, that it's not the right time, that life is already complicated enough as it is. So you tell yourself it will pass, that you just need rest, that you need to hold on a little longer, that things will eventually work themselves out. But what speaks to you inside is not trying to rush you. It doesn't shout. It gently insists, again and again, until you realize this is not inner restlessness, but a calling, a quiet calling, not a call to destroy everything, not a call to leave everything behind, not a call to start over from nothing, but a call to adjust, to make small changes in your life that slowly bring you back into alignment with yourself, with the powerful woman resting inside you, the one who is capable of moving toward her dreams and making them real. You know what you've been avoiding. You know what you keep postponing. You know what you haven't yet dared to face honestly. And most of the time, this isn't about incapacity. No, it never was. The first reaction to this calling is waiting for the right moment, waiting for clarity, waiting to feel ready, emotionally ready, mentally ready, ready in your life. We were taught that confidence should come before action, that certainty should come before the first step. But reality is far more uncomfortable. Most important decisions are made in uncertainty. You move forward without guarantees, without emotional safety, without knowing for sure if you're making the right choice, with doubt as your companion. Confidence is almost never the starting point. It is a result, a construction. It is built in motion, after the first step, by walking, by trying, by moving forward despite fear, and by realizing that you're still here, still capable, still standing. No one begins real change feeling completely sure. You begin hesitant, imperfect, sometimes confused. And that is normal, because starting is not about proving readiness. It's about learning as you move forward. But what we talk about far less is what comes after. This reality we often pretend not to see. After the initial momentum, after the decision, when the excitement that made everything feel easy fades, when enthusiasm softens, when desire is no longer there every day, when the project becomes demanding, when change becomes repetitive. That's where many stop. Not because they are incapable, not because they lack willpower, but because motivation was mistaken for commitment, because they believed motivation should always stay strong. Motivation is emotional, fragile. It depends on your energy, your mood, your inner state, on what life gives or takes away, on how you feel when you wake up in the morning. It cannot sustain lasting transformation. It cannot be the foundation of a life. What truly supports change is not desire. It is discipline. A healthy discipline. A conscious one. Not rigid. Not punitive. Not harsh toward yourself. A calm discipline. One that doesn't force you to suffer, but teaches you to take yourself seriously. One rooted in a clear decision. The kind that says, I trust myself enough to keep the promises I make to myself, even when I doubt, even when it's uncomfortable, even when no one is watching, even when results are not yet visible. Progress is often quiet, slow, sometimes invisible. But this is where the real work happens. In quiet consistency. In small repeated actions that, on their own, seem insignificant, that over time change everything. And then, there is another step even quieter. Starting again. Starting again after stopping. Starting again after failure. Starting again after believing this time would be different. Starting again knowing the cost. Starting again requires deep, sometimes brutal honesty. Because now, you know. You can no longer lie to yourself. You know what it costs. You know what it demands. You know where you got tired. You know where you doubted. You know where you broke. You know where you gave up. You know what didn't work last time. So you begin again without illusion, with more clarity, and sometimes more fear. But starting again is not growing backward. It is not failure. The strongest women are not the ones who never stopped. They are the ones who chose to return. Again, but differently. And maybe today you are exactly there, in between. In that uncomfortable space where you are no longer who you were, but not yet who you are becoming. And this space is uncomfortable because it has no shape yet. But it is a space of creation, a space of loyalty to yourself, refusing to let a moment of weakness define your entire story. True defeat is not slowing down. It is not stopping. It is staying still out of fear of starting again. So if today you are moving slowly, continue. If you are moving imperfectly, continue. If you need to adjust, to relearn, to rebuild, continue. You don't need to move fast. You need to be honest. With your rhythm, with your limits, with what truly matters. Because lasting change does not come from urgency or perfection. It comes from consistency. Consistency is not spectacular. It makes no noise, but it transforms deeply. The most profound transformations are often silent. What is meant for you will not miss you. And even if no one else sees your growth yet, your soul recognizes it. What is meant for you will not miss you, but it will ask you to walk toward it, with patience, with loyalty, not when you feel ready, but when you decide to choose yourself. Because you are not built by waiting. You are built by walking, one step at a time, even slowly, even imperfectly. Welcome to your inner path. Welcome to the version of you who learns to respect herself, step by step. Welcome to who you are becoming when you choose consistency over illusion. Eve.